good news on health care. First, Obama is activating his troops, if you will. He used to have an organization, of course, that helped to get him elected, and they kept a lot of the emails there, the infrastructure, and now that leftover campaign arm is called Organizing for America, and he's mobilizing those guys to move forward on health care reform. And he's in a call to them, he said, to some of the organizers, he said, look, it's now or never. We got to get health care reform this year. Again, we're not going to put this further down the road. We're not going to make compromises on when this gets done. Now, within the deal that gets struck, of course there'll be compromises. But we can't compromise on the timing of it. Otherwise, we're going to lose momentum, and it's not going to happen. So the fact that he's that serious about it and mobilizing his base is a very, very good sign. Now, we move over to the Senate. Well, they're the people who got to get moved on this issue. Part of the reason you mobilize that base is to convince those senators to get some deals done, because a lot of the senators are reluctant, including some of the top Democratic senators. And since the Democrats control the Senate, those reluctant Democratic senators are absolutely crucial. Now, first, Max Baucus is a critical player in health care reform. He's a Democrat of Montana. He has said, look, public health care option makes sense, and we're definitely open to that and want to include that in as a piece of this puzzle. That's very, very good news. Now, I want to remind you real quick what the public health care option is and why I think it's so critical. This is the option where the government says, all right, we're going to provide a health care plan of our own. Now, if you want to get private health care, if you want to stick with the health care you have now, great, fantastic, stick with it. Or you want to get a new health care, whether it's through your employer or on your own, no problem. God bless, go forward. But we're going to provide you an option here, that if you like this option better, this public health care option, then you can go with that. Now, we're going to save some costs there because we're going to do evidence-based testing, as Obama has explained, figure out what health care options work the best, which ones don't work the best, get some efficiency there. Number two, we're not going to spend any money on sales and marketing. And we don't need to make a profit. So we're going to save at least 20 to 30% right there, allowing us to have cheaper drugs and, taking care of patients, et cetera, et cetera. So it seems like a very, very good option, and it seems like it might work. Now, why I love that is twofold. One, it might just simply show that that is the more efficient way to go, and that this whole infrastructure we have where the pharmaceutical companies and the HMOs and all the healthcare companies make tremendous profits doesn't make any sense, and it's wasteful, and that's why we are very inefficient in healthcare. We pay the most, but don't get as good of results as a lot of the European and other developed countries. We might find that out, in which case, hey, look, we've set up a public healthcare system that actually works. Or, number two, we might find out, hey, here are the problems we didn't anticipate in that public healthcare option, and it didn't work. It couldn't compete with the private healthcare companies. But in that competition, it made the private healthcare companies better. Isn't that what we want? We want competition. We want a free market. We want capitalism. I think it makes perfect sense, and if you don't have it, then you don't have the incentive for the private healthcare companies to improve, and they continue to overcharge, and they continue in their bloated ways as they are now, and more people are not covered, and we continue to pay higher and higher rates. So that's why that portion is critical. So then we get to a senator that makes a lot of difference, Senator Ben Nelson, probably the most conservative Democrat in the Senate. He's from Nebraska. Earlier, he had tried to put together a coalition of Democratic senators who would be against the public health care option, to kill that. Why? Part of the reason is a lot of those health care companies are based in Nebraska, and they have paid Ben Nelson millions of dollars into his campaign, of course, and since it's his home state, he wants to protect those jobs as well. So he's got a legitimate and somewhat illegitimate reason for doing so, for supporting these healthcare industry. Now, the good news was he couldn't get any of the other Democratic senators to join his coalition to kill this option. That was earlier. Now we find out that in a private meeting, he told a number of representatives of the public interest groups and some companies as well, hey, you know what? I'm beginning to get swayed on this, and I'm open to, and I might consider a public health care option. That is very, very good news because we need every Democratic senator on board to make it happen because, of course, the Republicans will try to block it with a filibuster and make it exceedingly difficult to get this reform through. Why? Because, of course, they're in the back pocket of the healthcare industry. Now, theoretically, if the Republicans actually cared about the free market system, they wouldn't have any problem with public healthcare. In fact, they'd say, fantastic, more competition will make this industry better. Of course, that's not what they're interested in. They're interested in the paychecks they get from the pharmaceutical and healthcare companies. So if this is really the direction we're headed in, then I feel very good about it. It's a very positive development.